Few bands have redefined music the way Pink Floyd has. With their groundbreaking sound, deep lyrical themes, and legendary live shows, they became pioneers of progressive rock. From psychedelic beginnings to record-breaking albums, their influence is undeniable. Ready to dive into their fascinating story? Their name came from two blues musicians. Before becoming Pink Floyd, the band had several names, including the T-Set. When they needed a last-minute name change, Syd Barrett combined the names of two blues musicians he admired, Pink Anderson and Floyd Council, creating the now iconic band name. Syd Barrett's departure changed everything. Syd Barrett was the band's original frontman and creative force, but his mental health deteriorated due to heavy LSD use and possible schizophrenia. In 1968, he left the band, and David Gilmour took over as lead guitarist. Barrett's influence, however, continued to shape the band's music. Dark Side of the Moon was on the charts for 19 years. Released in 1973, The Dark Side of the Moon became one of the best-selling albums of all time. It remained on the Billboard 200 chart for an astonishing 736 consecutive weeks, nearly 15 years, and reappeared multiple times afterward, making it one of the longest charting albums in history. The iconic heartbeat intro wasn't a real heartbeat. The famous opening pulse of The Dark Side of the Moon sounds like a human heartbeat, but it's actually a manipulated recording of a bass drum. This subtle touch set the tone for the album's themes of life, death, and human existence. Animals was inspired by George Orwell. Their 1977 album Animals was heavily inspired by George Orwell's Animal Farm. The album critiques social hierarchy by categorizing people as dogs, pigs, or sheep, symbolizing different societal roles and power struggles. Wish You Were Here was a tribute to Syd Barrett. The song Wish You Were Here and much of the album of the same name were dedicated to Syd Barrett. During recording sessions, Barrett unexpectedly visited the studio, shocking the band with his drastically altered appearance. His presence deeply moved them and reinforced the album's themes of absence and loss. The wall wasn't just a metaphor. Roger Waters conceived the wall after feeling increasingly disconnected from audiences during the band's large stadium concerts. The idea of a literal and metaphorical wall between the band and the fans became the foundation of the album's concept. Comfortably Numb almost didn't make the album. One of Pink Floyd's most iconic songs, Comfortably Numb, was the result of a heated disagreement between Roger Waters and David Gilmour. They clashed over the song's arrangement, nearly scrapping it before settling on the final version that fans now consider one of their greatest tracks. The Wall tour featured an actual wall. During the live shows for The Wall, the band built a massive brick wall on stage, gradually separating themselves from the audience. By the end of the show, the wall was dramatically torn down, symbolizing the themes of isolation and emotional breakdown. They were banned in Soviet-controlled Poland. In the 1980s, Pink Floyd's music was considered too rebellious by Soviet authorities. Their album, The Wall, in particular, was seen as anthemic to anti-authoritarian youth movements, leading to a temporary ban in Poland. They hold a Guinness World Record. Pink Floyd's The Dark Side of the Moon holds the Guinness World Record for the longest time an album has remained in the Billboard charts. Even decades after its release, it continues to sell thousands of copies every year. Roger Waters sued to stop the band from using the name. After leaving the band in 1985, Roger Waters believed Pink Floyd should no longer exist without him. He sued David Gilmour and Nick Mason for using the name, but he lost the case, allowing them to continue making music as Pink Floyd. David Gilmour sold his guitars for charity. In 2019, David Gilmour auctioned off more than 120 of his guitars, including his legendary Black Fender Stratocaster, which was used to record Comfortably Numb. The auction raised over $21 million, all of which he donated to climate change charities. They reunited for Live 8 after 24 years apart. In 2005, Roger Waters rejoined Pink Floyd for the first time in 24 years for a special performance at Live 8. The emotional reunion was seen by millions worldwide and remains one of the most memorable moments in rock history. They inspired countless artists and genres. Pink Floyd's influence extends far beyond rock music. Their experimental sounds, deep lyrical themes, and atmospheric production have inspired artists in genres ranging from progressive rock and electronic music to hip-hop and alternative. Bands like Radiohead, Tool, and Muse have all cited them as a major influence.